Um, I think this team, from a marketing standpoint, is amazing. Personally,
Uh-oh.
pers-
This is where we go get into it.
personally.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of another relaunch. What's up? What's up? I am LZ.
Hey y'all, I'm Keenan.
How you doing today, Keenan?
I'm good. My legs are sore.
Was you have a leg day?
I had a leg day, so I've been running a little bit more. So I ran and then I like went and worked on my legs, and I think I was doing a little too much. I was trying to show off, so I made the weight a little more
Trying
heavier
to be
than it
cute.
usually is. Trying to be cute, trying to wear shorts in the summer.
Uh-huh.
and it's just like, so I'm feeling it today. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna be sitting down a lot.
That's all right. I mean, take a 60 time off. You work out a lot.
So I know. So that was the thing. I was actually also I had like a really busy work week, and so I took like 3 days off, and so that was also that's why I was trying to be cute because I was like, oh, I haven't been here in a few days. Like I really need to get
Mm.
into it. Let's make it long. Let's make it hard. Let's.
Ooh, yes, I like.
So that was the workout there, and so I'm feeling that today.
Well, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get into these comics. So first up is Wolverine number 11 by Benjamin Percy. Now, I did not read this because I dropped the
Oh,
book.
okay,
I,
so
I
I
will
need
say that
yeah.
like I do like Percy because I do enjoy
Mhm,
doing on X Force, but this
mhm.
Wolverine arc for me so far, or this solo series, has been like all over the place, and I really don't care about Wolverine fighting vampires and Omega Red. I'm sorry.
So I do agree. So I haven't dropped the book yet. I will say that I think I might after this. I do completely agree with the fact that I think the book as a whole has kind of been all over the place. I feel like Percy. I feel like it's one of those things that's gonna read better in a trade. Percy is trying to do like a very long form story, so the arcs kind of keep jumping back and forth. But as we all know, it kind of makes me think about just monthly comics as a whole and the format of how they're produced and like how we get them and how we I feel as though it should change a little bit. And I know this is something that's been said by a lot of comic professionals before, but the month to month basis doesn't always work for everything. And whether that comes to start being like more graphic novels or like OGNs that come out, I don't know. But I actually love vampires and I love Wolverine, so I was very into this story.
I
I was
had a feeling you
very
were gonna say
yeah,
that.
so I was very into the story, but it just reminds me that while I'm into the story, when we go to the next arc, will I really care?
Right.
And then I don't think it helps that Wolverine doesn't have like a supporting cast in the book. There's no one for him to really latch on to or kind of play off of. Again, we get it. He's done the whole loner thing, but we've gotten a little bit past that. In any solo book, your character has to have somebody to play off of. It cannot just be them all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to read about that. And so I think that's where we've gotten with now with this. It's just kind of like, okay, we're just reading about Wolverine kind of running through the motions, meeting all these random people and going about his way. Even this one, it brought back the vampire hunter from the first arc, but at the same time, she hasn't been around enough to really make you care about it. So
Mm.
I think the issues are fine. I think they're like serviceable. Like again, I like Percy. I think he's got a really good handle on Logan's voice. I think he does
Agreed.
action very well. The art's are great. The colors are good. I just again, I feel like this is one of those stories that might read better in a trade, and I kind of find myself getting a little bit bored.
Yeah. What would you give
So,
it?
I give it a 3.5 out of like a five.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're not into vampires though, it's not. I mean, that's a lie. I would give it a 4 out of 5. But I'm into vampires. I feel like if you're not into
Okay.
vampires, then I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5. like, 'cause even when I had tweeted about the book, and I was like, I think I might drop it, and like all these people were in my mentions saying, yeah, this vampire arc is awful, and I was just like, no, I like the vampires. Like, like Wolverine does this whole little monologue about how the vampires and the mutants are kind of similar because they can't die, or if they do die, they come back and people still hate them, and they're like hiding away on their respective islands. Dracula has set up a base in Chernobyl
Right.
because like obviously nobody can go there. And so he was like telling all these similarities, and I'm like, come on, but it's like vampire mutant solidarity. I'm all the way here for it. But once this arc is over and I don't see those vampires anymore, it's just like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what's going on with that. Maybe next issue. All right. Next up is Black Cat #5 by Jed MacKay and Michael Dowling. This is your girl. Tell us about it.
It's my girl because it's Felicia, and then it's my guy because I love Jed MacKay.
I know that's
He is like everything, and he continues it on this book. So there's like the basic premise of this issue is that Felicia and Fox is the guy who basically trained her how to be a burglar. They are trying to infiltrate the New York Thieves Guild to steal their money. And so to do that, they find out that the Thieves Guild has been hiding the money in like this other dimensional portal. So they travel to this like place to get it. However, Fox reveals to Felicia that the money's actually not there. There's this god who rules the land, and he grants people wishes in returns for a bargain. Like you give him something, he'll give you something you want. So like with the Thieves Guild, it was the way for her to like get the money. And so he's saying he'll give him something better if the god breaks his bond with Odessa Drake, who leaves the New York Thieves Guild, and gives him immortality because he's dying. And he has talked about how he's tried magic, he's tried Krakoan medicine, he has went to Dracula. He like went to Dracula to try and get him to turn him into a vampire. He's like done all these things to like
That's
stay
cool. They brought up
alive.
Krakoa.
Yeah, so Jed MacKay actually mentioned Krakoa and he mentioned Kandra earlier in the issue as well.
Oh
And we
wow.
all know, I love
Yeah, I know you love her.
100%. So it's like I was getting my life reading this issue, and it also made me realize I was like, just let Jed MacKay write his X book. He wants to do it.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
He wants to. Like, let's just let him come on over and let him do it. So that was fun. But basically they get to the portal or the dimension. The god comes out. The guy's like, please give me a mortal life. I'll give you something better. And he hands over the deed to Manhattan, like the city of Manhattan. Yeah, and then the issue ends. It's really fun. I love Jim MacKay on this book. Again, I think he has a really good handle of Felicia's voice. Felicia, as I've said before, she's always been a character I didn't really know too much about before, maybe like last year or so. But from far away, she was always a character I would enjoy. It's just like she seems fun. All she wants to do is steal stuff and have sex, and it's kind of like, okay.
I mean, diamonds and dick.
Literally, but you get nice little moments with her and Fox, who's trained her, and kind of how she feels about that, and reacting to him dying and all this other stuff. It's a nice issue. It's really poignant. It gives a lot of character moments. Again, Jed MacKay is really good with that. He's good for mixing in the humor with the character moments.
That's great. I mean, he was fantastic on that Taskmaster mini, and I loved that book. So I need to just catch up with this because I feel like Black Cat, Felicia has always been like really cool to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about. I read a bunch of Spider-Man stuff, a lot of Amazing Spider-Man issues back in the day, and it was always fun when she would appear and everything. I didn't really necessarily like her and Peter together, or
and
I guess a couple or anything.
I'm not really a huge Spider-Man fan, so I never read too much stuff of her in that book, but I would read her in like other places throughout the Marvel universe. And so now kind of just getting her has been like really interesting, especially since we see her interacting with a lot of other characters. She's interacted with Fantastic Four, she's interacted with Doctor Strange. It's been cool.
The Fantastic Four showed up?
Johnny showed up.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Right.
What would you rate it?
This 4 out of 5 for sure.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. Nice. All right. Next up is Daredevil. This is issue number 29 by Chip Zdarsky and I cannot remember his first name.
Marco?
Marco Checheto.
Yeah. Oh,
And
you're caught up on this now,
I'm
yes?
caught up now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught up now, and y'all were right. This is really good.
Okay. Okay.
Y'all really right. You already know, like, I'm an
You're
Electra
getting your
stan.
life. I was gonna say you're getting your
And
life. So I remember I think we were talking about this about you and Electra and like if you really liked her or again we've been having these conversations about characters. Do we really like them or do we just like kind of watching them fight and do these other things? Do you feel like what you've seen of this Electra? Do you like her?
oh yeah, I like her.
Okay.
Because I've recently gone back and read a lot of her older appearances and her older solo stuff. So she had a solo run recently, where she was like in Vegas and run around. She was like caught up in Murder World with Arcade.
Hmm.
Beautiful art, I will say, because
Is
Wonka
that
Ball.
the one? Oh, Wonka Ball did that.
hmm Fantastic art.
I
Yeah,
might
get
check that
into
out.
it.
Arcade and Wonka Ball. You speaking my language.
Yeah, and I will say the arc, the series anyway, it kind of felt more like an arc than it felt like an intro to a series because she does like just kind of by happenstance end up in Murder World, and then she's like kind of got to get herself out of that, and then the book was canceled before it could like finish, so
Mm.
it kind of feels
Oh,
arc.
that's the series where she had they had gave her a new costume, right? Like
The one
the
that looked just like
black bodysuit with the red scarf. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
the one that they were pulling from the Daredevil Netflix show. And that's
Yes.
yeah. they were they were clearly trying to capitalize off of that. And which is probably also why she's more like badass in this than they're kind of doing more introspecting into the character. Um, although I will always say that I know we talk about people and like in the Ninja Girl motif, but
Mhm.
like Elektra is like the
She's the blueprint. She's
she's the
definitely.
blueprint of the Ninja Girl. So like I'm okay with that.
It's
She's the
fine for her because like it's fine for her. She's like she started the trend. Like we'll give her that. We'll definitely give that to her. We'll
and
give her.
I won't lie. I know you like vampires and stuff. I think I do like ninjas.
Okay.
um, I do like ninjas because I'm also a big fan of like Mortal Kombat and everything. So like I do think I'm
Oh,
learning that I
okay.
think
This
I'm
is great. This is great. Okay, I have some Daredevil runs that I can recommend to you then. Okay, we'll get you. So we'll get. I've been waiting for
okay.
this day. I'm so excited. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
So this issue obviously is really great. She is still pursuing her run basically as Daredevil, and although I will say at the beginning of this issue where she's kind of training that girl
Mhm.
who she rescued in the last issue from the whole King in Black thing, which went on much longer than it needed to. Um,
Entirely.
she rescued this girl, and her mother got turned into like a venom, and her mother ended up dying. She seemed like a teenager
Mhm.
then. In this issue, she seemed like a child, like she's like
I
8.
got I got like preteen vibes, like 10, 11 ish. I do agree she felt a little younger here, but I don't
Mhm.
know. You know, age in the Marvel universe is age in comic books in general is just
That's fair.
don't even think about it too much.
I think we just
She
have to look at it like she's just a young girl that lost her mom.
exactly like in a month she'll probably get sucked through some type of time dimensional portal and come back as a 42-year-old woman.
hmm And
So
what I've really been enjoying about this has been this reflection of Elektra and how what I love about her is she accepts fully who she is. There's no like turmoil with her.
mhm.
People around her try to think like, oh, there's this darkness in you or whatever, but she's like, no, like some people just gotta get killed.
Oh, she's like I'm good.
And I love that, you know.
Yeah.
Um, again, I like those kind of gray area characters. However, she's more towards the murderous side than some of the other gray area characters that I like.
She is the murderous side, okay? Like, not a towards. Like she's it.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. she
She's fine.
she has been, I think her run as Daredevil has been really really great in this issue. um the you see her out on the streets being Daredevil and like pulling back on whether or not she's going to kill someone. She ends up telling the these like, I don't want to call them bodyguards, but they're like these street thugs who are trying to take over a convenience store and take money from them. She beats them up and tells them that if you want to keep doing this, you have to pay me 30 grand.
I was like, what's up? Like,
And
you
I'll
can do
take
it if you want.
payment.
Right.
And I like that it was still tapping into her. She is an assassin. Like,
Hmm.
that is what she
Like,
is.
yeah.
There is a price for hers, but she is willing to, like, she's using her assassin like kind of background as a way to kind of guard the city as Daredevil. So it's interesting to see her kind of do that in this book. Daredevil is in jail and he realized he had been poisoned, and he tries to go outside for fresh air, and then they all just like basically beat his ass.
Matt lives a very sad life.
I didn't know this bad. This is actually really the first Daredevil run I've kept up with consistently now that I'm like caught up with it.
Okay.
I read issues before, obviously, if Electro appeared. But this is my first time like reading an entire series from issue 1 and keep going. And I was like, damn, he be going through it. Like,
He lives a very sad life. Like, if it's one thing about Matt, is that his life is depressing.
yeah.
The show wasn't just for show. Like, he's really sad. Like, the bad things that happen to him all the time. Like, that was real.
So he is in jail. He ends up getting beat up. We also meet the Kingpin's son. I didn't know this was a thing before. I hadn't read the previous runs or whatever. I didn't know he basically has like an illegitimate son that he may not know about. Also, I was going to ask you or the listeners, I thought Mike Murdock was made up. I thought that twin brother thing was fake, but I clearly didn't know because I haven't really read any of the old Daredevil books. So I thought when they tried to pass off the whole Mike Murdock,
I thought it had got retconned, but I could have missed it somewhere as like a real thing. Again, like Daredevil's sad, so you got to dip in and out of a run sometime. It's just like you got to dip in and out because you just start going down with it. And it's just kind of like, I don't need to be here. I was happy when I started reading this book.
That's a fair point.
But I'll do some research. I think I have the trades of like the whole Mike Murdock thing. So I'll go back and read that so I can give you an answer for sure.
Yeah, I want to know because I thought he was made up, but I didn't know if this was like a real brother thing or what was going on there, or if he was like a clone or something. People like clones.
They love a clone.
They love a clone. But the issue ends with Daredevil like laid out on after fighting all these people, and then he got stabbed. So.
Because it's just like, damn, it's just like, what else can happen to this man?
He was going to win the fight after a while, then he got stabbed, so.
Nah, yeah. Dude.
So now we're going to see what's going on with basically the villains of the issue and these thugs who have all been running Hell's Kitchen, the Lizzie and I can't think of her last name, her family or whatever, her clan, they're going to be coming after Daredevil. So I'm in.
Okay.
Definitely.
I'm glad you're caught up. I'm glad you're in. I'm excited. This is going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
Okay. This is good. What would you rate it?
3.5 or 4 out of 5? 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Zdarsky. He's good. He's very good.
He's been really great. I would have liked to see him on some other properties too. He would have been great on Fantastic Four.
Didn't he do Fantastic Four?
That one. Let's not bring up that one. Okay. Next up is Guardians of the Galaxy number 13.
Yes.
And I mean, damn, this is okay. I like that superhero level, almost kind of cosmic stuff, and I love space, right?
Yeah. This is given for you.
This book is exactly what I've been looking for. Like, I've always get into the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I've tried all of their runs in the past, but they would never really click for me because they were basically the MCU versions of of the Galaxy, and I'm not the biggest fan of those characters.
Yeah.
Uh, and they would try to spice them up somehow and like make it a little better. I'm like they'd have Captain Marvel join for a bit, Iron Man join for a bit. Like they would just have a rotating
Which I hated that one when they joined.
It made no sense. But now, with this run, it honestly feels like they are the Guardians of the Galaxy. They are actually a team, a foundation. There's something there for them to all like protect the galaxy. They are the superheroes of space, and that's what I was looking for.
It's
I'm loving it.
it was like, everybody knows I'm secretly a Ewing fanboy. So it's like, and I've always loved this book, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little like wary of how this was gonna go with like the new team and the expansion and all these other characters, but like it exceeded all expectations I have. The new artist who came on, he is doing a great job. I was a little upset because I wasn't gonna get my Wiccan by Wonka Ball, but this artist definitely is a great fill-in. And I'm just Star-Lord, Peter Jason Quill.
He was eating.
Peter Jason Quill. And I love the way Ewing is doing all the relationships in this book, like from Moondragon to Phyla, Peter and Gamora, No and Hercules. Now we've got the two Quasars in there, and we see that they can like switch back and forth, and like so they've got to kind of work out how they're going to do that, because apparently while one is active, the other still knows what's going on. They're just like in that little black void, which is very depressing when you
It
think
is
about
very it's very depressing when you stop and think about that.
it.
I actually thought that was a really cool kind of retcon for them, though, the way that you could bring in both quasars, because I'm sure, like any other kind of thing where there's a mantle to be passed around, there's always going to be someone who likes one character over another one. So it was really, I was wondering how he was going to be able to have both quasars in this, and you can't have both of them have those the negabands, because that's like there's only one pair. So I know that previously in the Quasar run, him and Rick Jones used to be able to kind of tap them and switch places. There was this really, really cool moment in Operation Galactic Storm where Wonder Man was fighting a Skrull who got hold of the Negabands. They stole them from him, and they were swapping, and he was like trying to fight him, and every time he would try to punch him, he would switch and be Rick Jones, and Wonder Man would have to stop before like knocking the dude's head off.
I just want to say, I really respect how you managed to bring Wonder Man into every conversation.
I'm gonna bring him it's he's a part of all this stuff. I just never want to bring him in it.
Like, it does not matter. It is some way and will you will bring Wonder Man to the conversation, and I really respect that. But yeah, I did. So I mean, I don't know too much about the Quasars, honestly. So I didn't know that the Rick Jones thing was something that they could do. The first, well, not the first time, but the most recent time I can think of a character doing this is Valkyrie. She could do it in the Fearless Defenders run that Cullen Bunn had wrote. He had introduced some like female character, and they got merged somehow, and they could like switch back and forth. Again, I think it can get a little messy with the characters, but I do like the way that Ewing is kind of presenting it here, where it's like, no, I am very much alive and awake, and I see everything, and I know everything. I'm just kind of like sitting in this place, and now we got to work out, like, are we gonna have days where you're mostly out, or like what it works. I also like the way how we kind of introduced it with Phyla, telling him, she's like, we don't need heroes right now, we need stealth.
Right.
And he's like, okay, I get it. I gotta go.
And I love that Philip was like, wink, wink, like,
Like,
you trying to be a hero and all that. We don't need that.
let's keep it moving. I really enjoyed the use. I mean, we didn't get too much of Wiccan and Hulkling in this run. We got like little bits of it, but again, Ewing has written them before during his Avengers run, and it was just nice to have that voice back. I really
Wiccan was up using his powers and protecting his man, protecting his man, his space king.
That's all he can do. Oh, okay. And so the ending. This issue. So I have never been a big Doom fanboy. But baby, the way that he came down out the sky, lightning just jumping down and he's giving his little monologue and he's like, "Oh, you're the king of space. You're the master of the sun. This and that. I don't need all that." He's like, "I've only ever been one person, and that's Doom." And he was like, "Doctor Doom," and I'm just like, "Yes." He grabbed little
Doom's
Hulk and stuff.
it.
I'm a believer.
Doom is it. I know people have a hard time getting into the Fantastic Four, but the one thing you can't take from them is like they have some good villains and like characters over there. And Doom is
Oh,
like Doom. The great thing about Doom is that like you believe his arrogance because he like believes in his arrogance.
100%, 150%, and it's like fantastic. And I really love speaking of villains, like I also love the scrolls that were in this book, where they came upon like the little. We all know I love a motor cult of some sort,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah.
so her like giving her little speech, she was like, we have been wrong. We are going to burn the galaxy down. We're going to like do all this stuff. I'm loving it. I was like, this is exactly what I came for. This is like it's like you said, this book is exactly what we came for. I'm here.
I love it. You
5 out
know,
of 5.
the thing that I love about space is when you take a character into space or they can actually go like kind of cosmic,
Hmm.
they are the limits on what they can do can kind of be really fleshed out. So like someone like Moondragon for me, the things that she's doing in this book, I didn't realize just how powerful she is.
She is
Because
given. Like
yeah,
she is doing everything out here.
yeah, when she was reading that progenitor's mind, and like I think the progenitors are the ones who invented the Terrigen crystals for the Inhumans. I could be wrong, and like fact check me on that, y'all, but like I'm almost positive that they're the ones who created the Terrigen mist, and that's why we were getting it in here where it was like affecting um Hulkling, because isn't he half Kree? So that's
Yes.
why like that stuff was affecting him. I think that I think that
Mm.
they're that character. So like her being able to like access their minds after they were dead and stuff, I was like, okay, she is.
And I love she even made a point to be like that. She was like, yes, it's much harder to read his mind after they're dead. She's like, but
Right.
I'm still gonna do it. Like it can still be done. I was like, and again, Ewing is giving.
What?
He has very large cast here, but he is giving everybody kind of a moment to speak and show their personality and just like remind you that they're on the page. So that's very exciting. We were missing Hercules this issue, weren't we?
We were missing Hercules
We were,
this issue.
we were, we were missing Hercules. Um,
You know who we really were missing in this book? Blue Marvel. I'm
okay.
not even gonna lie, like he could obviously be up there with them in
He
this.
would be, I feel like Ewing is gonna build to it. He's the only person who really uses Blue Marvel. I feel like he's the only person who actually likes him. So I might tweet him. We
Like
gonna
I
we
was
gonna get the ball
because
moving.
Blue Marvel's powerful enough where he could exist in space and it could like work, and where he's fighting these things, and you could have this science stuff with these people. I think that he would work with them in this book.
And then he also appeared recently in the Doom series. Doom
Oh,
had. I mean, I heard the appearance wasn't that great. I heard the book itself wasn't that great, to be honest. But he was in it, and so it's like, if I can get some Doom Blue Marvel stuff, I'll support it.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, 5 out of 5 for me. This was
Uh,
my week for sure.
it's that Ewing magic. Gotta love.
You got it. All
I
right,
had a
y'all.
short pool this week. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that was a really short week. So let's take a break and then we'll come back.
Sure.